Heyo guys, my name is BeetleEetleDeetle.
Oh, we got BeetleEetleDeetle. That is a new nickname.
No one can ever get my name right. Like I had a good 10-minute session before Majira's show at Anthrocon where I taught Kiro how to pronounce my name right and he still couldn't get it.
My name is Kiro the Wolf and this is BetaEtaDelota. BetaEtaDelota.
And you guys wonder why I don't consider myself a Popufur. Speaking of Popufurs, today we'll be talking about some furry things. The series where I talk about any fuzzy and cuddly topics or events that have to do with the furry fandom.
I'm Majira Raspberry.
I am the menorah. I'm the real menorah.
Oh my god.
God, I love that clip. Still, that'll be the next video. But for today's installment of Furry Things, we'll be talking about the concept of Popufurs and what it means to be one, along with some of the responsibilities of maintaining the role. After going to Anthrocon this year and meeting the hundreds of fans who enjoy what I do online, I feel like I can give some valid viewpoints on this topic. Along with that, I feel as though this topic hasn't been fully discussed in video form and has only been really mentioned in a negative context, so I'm kind of excited to talk about this and see what your guys' thoughts are on it. So for the general question, what is a Popufur? With the word quite literally meaning popular furry, it's defined as someone, whether it be an artist, fursuiter, content creator, or really anyone who has some level of popularity in the furry fandom. They are the people who generally have done something noteworthy or have some reputation in the fandom that makes them stand out from others. No matter which subgroup they might relate to in the furry fandom, these people who are well known and can easily be recognized amongst the entirety of the furry fandom may be known as Popufurs. A prime example of this is the furry YouTuber known as Majira Strawberry. It's almost like I met and hung out with him 2 weeks ago, because he is one of, if not the biggest recognized furry YouTuber currently, and as much as he doesn't want me to call him this, he can definitely be considered a Popufur. My next video will give a more in-depth explanation as to why I know this as a fact. Suiting as Majira really was something. Another example I wanted to use in a different category is Clace, or Clace Husky. He's well known in the furry fandom because of his contribution to creating furry-based games such as the award-winning Major Minor in the just-released Winds of Change. Along with his own Fursona standing out amongst others, I and other fans of what he does can consider him a Popufur. Also, he was pretty fun to hang out with at Anthrocon. Finally, the pink boy has noticed. Now these are just a few examples, but anyone can be a Popufur for any contribution or noteworthy trait that they stand out for. One thing that I want to point out though is that there really isn't a specific criteria that dictates when someone becomes a Popufur. This is one of the main reasons why I continue to deny being a Popufur myself. With all egotism aside, as great as it might be to have nearly 40,000 subscribers and getting recognized by hundreds of fans at conventions, I really don't consider myself as a Popufur because 1, I don't have a fursuit, and 2, I haven't done anything really noteworthy in the fandom to have that title. Don't get me wrong, I don't see me or anyone being a Popufur as a bad thing, but I feel like I have a lot more that I can do for those in the furry fandom in order to even be remotely known, even if my life jacket stands out the most. One day you will exist. Also one day the life jacket of my dreams will exist. So now that we have the general definition of Popufurs established, I would like to cover the fandom role models portion of this video. Probably the most important trait that most people forget about Popufurs is how the audience they've built up matters to the furry fandom overall. I could probably get Husky to analyze this, but it is evident that furries that are popular in the furry fandom, especially those that have a presence on external sources such as social media and YouTube, have introduced a large amount of people to the furry fandom and in turn have increased the fandom's overall population. I can vouch on this statement as a content creator even if I'm not a Popufur, because I've received multiple messages and comments from fans in the past saying how I've introduced them to the furry fandom and how they're happy to be a part of it now. With this in mind, and this is a little bit of an unfortunate yet noble trait to have, Popufurs have a sort of responsibility to upkeep with regards to their audiences. The main reason behind this is that fans who may idolize or look up to Popufurs will more than likely take on morals or ideals similar to how the Popufur acts or behaves. Take Majira Strawberry for example. Again, he strives to make his content family friendly, enjoyable, and positive for all ages and general audiences. In turn, his fanbase will more than likely want to take his style or positivity into account for how they might behave or want to portray themselves in the furry fandom. Most of this also applies to my Young Furs video, so if you haven't seen that already, feel free to check that out. And this situation applies to me as well. After looking through the analytics, the average age of my audience on YouTube is 45. I'll let that revelation sink in for a bit. Of course that's not true. I know that the general age of my viewers is around 16 or 17 and younger, and although they take on a majority of my views, I want my content to appeal to all ages and most personalities. In turn, one big step I've taken is by reducing cussing or swearing in my videos from little to not at all. Now even though this is one thing I've done to appeal to my viewers, I'll thank myself later on because I don't want to be known as someone with a dirty mouth. But you get the point. As role models, I believe that Popufurs have some responsibility to keep what they do reasonable within the public eye. If I were to inspire future furry fandom members, I would want them to act in a positive and supportive manner similar to me. If there's someone out there who is a fan of what I do and I can persuade them to spread love instead of hate through my content, then I will do my best to behave as a role model and shape my content to appeal to those ideals. With how the world is surrounded with negativity and tragic events occurring every single day, people go online and watch YouTube videos as an escape. So in turn, I want to create a positive environment where people can find support and really just enjoy themselves. Even outside of YouTube, that's what I kind of find the furry fandom to be all about. An escape from the harsh realities to enjoy company with some of the most positive and amazing individuals in this world. So even if I'm not a Popufur, I'm proud to act as a role model or even a leader to make this fandom better. And now there's one last thing I would like to cover with regards to the idea of Popufurs. The resentment of the term itself. Why do people who are considered Popufurs hate being called Popufurs? The reason I see as to why the term has a negative context is because the people who are considered Popufurs don't want to be seen in the raw context of being a popular furry. They want to be seen as normal people, as normal as the furry fandom can be, who can have normal conversations and live normal lives. They might not want to constantly have the superstar status and don't want to be seen as these gods or amazing people. This is kind of the case with me when people sometimes get really excited and happy when they meet me or say hi. I don't like using this word, but it's when people fanboy over me. In turn, some other people who see that may think I have a god complex, which again relates to why I don't see myself as a Popufur. I want to emphasize for everyone out there, Popufurs in the end aren't special when it comes to being people, but they are special within the context that they create communities and friendships that can bring people together or into the furry fandom. It's not that they are special or unique, it's more so that how they are or what they do is special to others. At the end of the day, Popufurs are humans like you and me, and I think that's how some of them would prefer to be treated. But that about does it for this topic, guys. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you thought about what I said in the comments below. This topic is a bit finicky and kind of bland with ideas and context, so I'd love to hear if you agree, disagree, or have more to add on to the topic. If you don't know, I also have some merchandise available on Artwork Tee, so if you wanted to support the Life Jacket Squad further and don a snazzy t-shirt, feel free to click the link below. Leave a like, share the video, and do all that jazz. Besides that, stay Life Jacket, guys. Take care.